If your eyes feel tight, heavy, or tired, especially after reading this tiny massage, can help relax the strain. I'll show the safe way to do it, where not to press, and when it's a bad idea. You sit down to enjoy a book or check your tablet, and within minutes, the words start to swim. A dull ache begins right behind your brow bone, radiating toward your temples. It feels like someone is tightening a belt around your forehead, and your eyelids feel heavy, like lead weights dragging you down. This isn't just tiredness. It is your body screaming that the delicate machinery of your vision is being overworked and undersupported. We often treat our eyes like they are separate from the rest of our body, ignoring their exhaustion until the pain becomes undeniable. But here is the good news. Just like a stiff shoulder needs a rub to release the knot, your eyes have a specific release button that, when pressed correctly, can flush out that tension in seconds. The hidden culprit here is often a tiny ring of muscle called the ciliary body. When this muscle gets stuck in a contracted state from staring at close objects, it cuts off the fluid motion needed for comfortable vision. Today, we are going to learn how to manually release that tension. I am going to walk you through a specific safe massage technique, explain exactly how to stack it with a visual rest habit, and most importantly, cover the dangerous mistakes that can actually damage your vision if you aren't careful. By the end of this conversation, you will have a toolkit to reclaim your reading time and keep your vision sharp. Before we dive into the anatomy of relief, consider subscribing to our community here. We share the kind of senior health tips that doctors often overlook in rushed appointments, focusing on practical, science-backed ways to maintain your independence. And I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It is always wonderful to see how far our health-conscious family extends. Let's start by understanding what is actually happening inside that head of yours. To fix the pain, we first have to respect the mechanism causing it. As we age, the lens of the eye becomes less flexible, a condition known as presbyopia. This means those tiny ciliary muscles have to work overtime, straining harder than ever just to focus on the text of your morning newspaper. Imagine holding a 10-pound weight at arm's length. For the first 30 seconds, it's fine. By minute 5, your arm is shaking. That is exactly what your eye muscles are doing when you stare at a screen or book for an hour without a break. They are trembling with exertion. This isn't just a feeling. It is a physiological reality backed by hard data. The National Eye Institute reports that nearly everyone experiences some degree of presbyopia after age 45, which directly correlates to an increase in reported eye strain and tension headaches. When those muscles lock up, they restrict blood flow and accumulate metabolic waste products, essentially the exhaust fumes of cellular activity, which causes that dull, throbbing ache. Imagine your eye muscles are like an engine running without oil. The friction generates heat and pain. We need to reintroduce lubrication and relaxation to that engine. Now, let's move to the solution, the 5-second massage technique. This is not about rubbing your eyes randomly. This is a targeted acupressure approach. We're going to target the supraorbital notch. This is a small groove in your skull, right at the inner corner of your eyebrow, near the bridge of your nose. In traditional medicine, this is often referred to as the Zanzhu point or bladder 2, and modern anatomical science confirms that a branch of the frontal nerve passes through here. By applying gentle pressure, we can stimulate the nerve and encourage relaxation in the surrounding fascia. Here is how we do it safely. I want you to use your thumbs. Place the pad of your thumb, not the nail, never the nail, right against the underside of your eyebrow bone, right where it meets the bridge of your nose. You should feel a small divot or indentation in the bone. Rest your thumbs there. Now, lean your head forward slightly, letting the weight of your head provide the pressure. You aren't pushing times in times with your muscles. You are resting times on times the support of your thumbs. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Hold that pressure for 5 slow seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. You might feel a strange sensation, almost like a good hurt or release of pressure behind the sinuses. That is the tension melting away. Why does this work? It stimulates local circulation. A study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science demonstrated that acupressure on specific orbital points significantly reduced reported eye fatigue and increased visual acuity in subjects suffering from screen related strain. When you apply this specific pressure, you are essentially telling the nervous system to downregulate, to switch from a state of high tension focus to a state of relaxation. You are manually flushing fresh oxygenated blood into that stagnant, tired tissue. However, mechanical massage is only half the battle. If you massage your eyes and then immediately go back to staring unblinkingly at your phone for 2 hours, you are undoing all the good work. We need to pair the massage with a behavioral change. This brings us to the next vital tool in your arsenal, widely known as the 20-20-20 rule. You may have heard of it, but very few people practice it correctly. The rule is simple. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. This sounds almost too simple to be effective, but the biology behind it is profound. Remember those ciliary muscles we talked about? When you look at something close up, they contract. When you look at something far away, they relax. It is the only way to unclench that muscle. If you don't look away, that muscle stays clenched, leading to spasms. Furthermore, when we stare at screens, our blink rate plummets. According to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, humans normally blink about 15 times a minute. But when looking at a digital device, that number drops by half or more, sometimes to just 5 or 6 times a minute. This causes the tear film to evaporate, leaving your cornea dry, gritty, and irritated, which compounds the feeling of strain. So here is the enhanced routine. Set a timer on your phone for 20 minutes. When it goes off, put the book down, look out a window or down the hallway. While you are looking into the distance, perform your 5-second pressure point massage. This combination is a powerhouse. You are mechanically releasing the tension with the massage while optically releasing the tension by looking away. It is a double whammy of relief. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please take a second to hit that thumbs up button. It helps us get this information to other seniors who might be struggling with vision issues alone. Now, we must navigate the minefield of mistakes. As a mentor who cares about your long-term sight, I have to be very clear about what you should never, ever do. The biggest mistake people make when their eyes feel tired is rubbing the eyeball itself. You know, the motion using your knuckles to grind into your closed eyelids. It feels good in the moment, but it is incredibly dangerous. When you rub your eyes vigorously, you are spiking the pressure inside your eye, known as intraocular pressure, IOP. For someone with healthy eyes, this is risky. For a senior who might have undiagnosed glaucoma or thinning corneas, it is a disaster waiting to happen. Research from the Glaucoma Research Foundation indicates that significant eye rubbing can cause IOP to spike to levels that may damage the optic nerve over time. Think of your eye like a delicate grape. If you keep squashing it, you are going to damage the internal structure. Additionally, aggressive rubbing can weaken the collagen fibers of the cornea, leading to a condition called keratoconus, where the cornea bulges outward. It can also introduce bacteria. A study in the journal Times Ophthalmology Times found that frequent eye rubbing is a leading vector for introducing pathogens that cause conjunctivitis and other infections. Your hands touch everything, doorknobs, money, remote controls, and then you grind those germs directly into your tear ducts. So the rule is absolute. Press the bone, never the globe. If you feel the need to itch or rub, use a clean tissue and dab the corner, or use the pressure point technique I just showed you to distract the nerves without applying pressure to the eye itself. Another common error is timing. Do not wait until you have a splitting headache to start this routine. Pain is a lagging indicator. By the time you feel pain, the tissue is already inflamed. You need to be proactive. If you know you are going to be reading or sewing for an hour, do the massage times before times you start, and then again at the 20-minute mark. Don't wait for the breakdown to call the mechanic. Let's integrate this into a broader weekly lifestyle routine. We have the immediate fix, the MAJ, and the habit 20-20-20. But what about the fuel? Your eyes are incredibly metabolically active organs. They demand a huge amount of energy and nutrients to function. If you aren't feeding them, the massage won't save you. We need to talk about hydration and nutrition. As we get older, our thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive, and many of us walk around chronically, specifically dehydrated. When you are dehydrated, your body prioritizes vital organs like the heart and brain, and it pulls moisture from non essential areas. And your tear film is one of the first things to dry up. A study published in Times Medical Hypothesis Times suggested a strong link between systemic dehydration and dry eye syndrome. If your urine is dark yellow, your eyes are going to feel gritty, no matter how much you massage them. Aim to drink a glass of water before you sit down for a reading session. It's like filling the radiator before a long drive. On the nutrition front, we need to focus on two specific antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are essentially internal sunglasses for your macula. They filter out harmful high energy blue light and protect the retinal cells. The famous AREDS2 study, a massive clinical trial sponsored by the National Eye Institute, found that supplementing with these specific nutrients significantly reduced the risk of progression in age-related macular degeneration. But you don't just have to take pills. You can eat them. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens are packed with these compounds. Make a deal with yourself. This week, you will add 1 serving of dark greens to your dinner plate every other night. It is a small change that builds the internal resilience of your eyes. Finally, check your lighting. It sounds trivial, but reading in dim light forces your eyes to work twice as hard to discern contrast. As we age, our pupils get smaller and let in less light. A 60-year-old needs about 3 times as much light as a 20-year-old to read with the same ease. This isn't about weak eyes, it's about physics. A study in the Times Journal Optometry and Vision Science Times highlighted that proper task lighting significantly reduces the symptoms of computer vision syndrome and reading fatigue. So get a dedicated reading lamp, position it so it shines on the page, not in your eyes, and watch how much longer you can read without fatigue. To recap the actionable advice we have gathered today. First, recognize that eye strain is muscle fatigue caused by the ciliary body locking up. Second, use the 5-second pressure point massage on the inner eyebrow bone, the supraorbital notch, to mechanically release tension. Remember, press the bone, not the eyeball. Third, practice the 2-0-2-0-2-0 rule to break the spasm of near focus. Fourth, never rub your eyes with your knuckles to avoid dangerous pressure spikes. And finally, support your vision from the inside out with hydration, dark leafy greens, and proper lighting. You have more control over your vision than you think. It is easy to accept failing eyesight and chronic pain as just part of getting older, but that is a defeatist mindset we are going to reject right now. Your body is resilient. It wants to heal. It just needs you to provide the right environment and the right maintenance. By taking these 30 seconds out of your day to care for your eyes, you are protecting your ability to read the books you love, to see the faces of your grandchildren clearly, and to maintain your independence. I want you to try this massage the next time you feel that heaviness creeping in, and then come back and tell me how it felt. So here's my question for you to answer in the comments. What is the one activity you love doing most that you want to protect your eyesight for? Is it reading, knitting, painting, or maybe doing crossword puzzles? Let me know below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, not for me, but because your health is worth fighting for, and we are in this fight together. Until next time, keep looking forward and take care of those eyes.